action!
She's an iconic character, one of the greatest action heroines ever conceived.
She's trying to protect her son and prepare him for an uncertain future, and who can't relate to that?
John, now!
If you could prepare for these things, knowing that they're going to come, can you change your destiny?
Sarah Connor.
Where is he?
Hope is crucial to the story, because if you didn't have hope, then there wouldn't be anything left to fight for.
What we've done, and what we've endeavored to do, and what Josh and our writing staff has done, is to create big ideas and narrative surprises. And I think that that's the best way that we've paid homage to the movies and the franchise.
Come with me if you want to live.
It's one of those formative films for people. So you really have to take that seriously, and the hard part is at some point you have to sort of take that and make it your own.
Three of us sitting at a restaurant, Josh and James Middleton, with 4 chairs. The first thing I said was, gentlemen, there's an empty chair here. And this chair is Jim Cameron's. Because I respect him so much and respect what he's created, that I have to give all of myself to make this as good as it can be.
And action!
The most important thing to me is the characters. I mean, I think you really do want to be as true as you can to the characters, but also you have to build on them. I mean, it's different. Sarah Connor in T2, you couldn't have that character exist every single episode in a series. You know, I mean, you need to see a lot different kind of ups and downs in the characters.
The predicament that she was left in after Terminator 2 was outstanding dramatically. Yes, she's, for the moment, vanquished the T-1000, but she no longer has a protector Terminator. She's surely being pursued by law enforcement who would think she's a domestic terrorist. And she's got to raise a 14-year-old son. I thought that was a fantastic jumping-off point for a series.
Rather than to make it a series that is, in a sense, a sound-alike or a TV version of or something of that nature, we're just kind of retreading things that happened in the movie, Josh was able to actually take the story that had been created so beautifully and enhance it and turn it into this next step, which has become the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Where are we? Same where. Different when.
There are other things that Josh brought to the pitch that are purely from his imaginative mind. And the biggest one was to use the time travel, motif that is present in all the Terminator movies to move characters into the future.
It's really helped us significantly because it did shake us free from the timeline in a nice, logical way where we could kind of go forth and do what we wanted to do. And I think one of the things that was important to me was not to do a chase show.
The Terminator movies were based on a chase dynamic. If we did that in the series every episode, it would be very boring to our fans, and boring is anti-Terminator.
The mythology is it started in Los Angeles, so it makes sense that we could, if we were going to try to find it and fight it and stop it, that we would be in Los Angeles. And to make a television series work creatively, you want your heroes to be proactive and kind of driving the action.
We can go kill it before it's born. You can stop running, stay in one place, fight.
The date on the tape. June 8th, 1997. Do you know that date?
In terms of casting the show, we went through a fascinating process. It was a 16-week process, and that's long for television. So Josh and I and David Nutter were looking at lots of auditions.
You had people come in that were doing their best Linda Hamilton impression, and it's disturbing in some ways, I mean, you want someone who's going to come in and make it their own.
It was interesting, Lena had not seen the Terminator films, and it was important for her, just as an actress, not to copy that, not to really see that. So, to me, it was about kind of letting her understand the headspace of where Sarah Connor was in T1 and then in T2, and kind of talking through that with her so she could get a sense of the history.
Tell me where they went.
Lady, go to hell.
Where they went, or I'm gonna beat you to death. Don't call me lady.
She's such a great character, besides being known by the public. I haven't watched the movies, so I read it and took her as something completely new.
We can't stay here, John.
No one knows us. We're safe.
Don't you think that, John? No one is ever safe.
Thomas Dekker was very familiar with the material and was very kind of aware of what he was doing, but also was smart enough to be able to kind of move past the character.
His own personal life is not unlike John Connor with respect to a young kid that's moved around a lot and had, in a sense, a vagabond existence. So in many respects, he could draw a lot of the John Connor sensibilities from his own life, and that really helped make it more real and more interesting.
Isn't that what I'm supposed to be? A hero? Isn't that who I am?
I never once said I'm gonna completely ignore and not incorporate what was done before, but I also didn't say I was gonna make a carbon copy of it, because it's the same thing with any of us who are repeating these characters, is that it's a television series. It has to be, some things work better in a compact 2.5-hour film than they do in a lot of episodes.
What model are you? Are you new? You seem different.
The character of Cameron, I mean, I knew that I wanted Summer pretty much from the beginning. I had tried to cast Summer years ago on a different show in a completely different part. We still saw a lot of people for that role. I mean, you can't just bring one person in. You know, we had seen a lot of actors for that role, and I just kept saying, I want to bring Summer, get Summer in here.
It's okay, John. It's not the first time we've done this.
Josh Friedman wrote the role for Summer Glau. So when she came in to do her audition, really no one else entered our mind after that.
I wanted to take the opportunity to play a Terminator and really go for it and be a robot and get that across, but she's so much more than that. She's very complicated. I didn't want to just play her like a normal girl and then play her like a robot. I had to sort of bring them together and make it believable.
What are you guys talking about?
Just making conversation.
I need reconstructive surgery.
You need a consult. You'll have to call Monday.
Now.
The design, the story, the universe of Terminator is a big universe. But you have to stay within the realm of that mythology. And that mythology is not only the story, the narrative, but it's also the aesthetic mythology.
There was a big question of, can we execute in a credible way? And what Jim Lehman showed right from the beginning is that yes, we could. And that gave us freedom to move forward, and it gave Josh and the writing staff freedom to come up with ideas that pushed the effects envelope.
You know, Jim Lima was probably one of the top Terminator fans on the planet to get involved in visual effects. He brought all his love for the Terminator franchise to this, and to me it's always about, whenever you're working with anybody, get the most out of them and let them dance and let them go for it.
You can call Jim up and say, what do you think about this? And he'll come back to you with 5 really great ideas. He's not just someone who executes things.
To create science fiction, which is the realm of ideas, the realm of possibilities, you have to always start with an established foundation. And that established foundation is your story logic, is your design logic, is your world logic. Everything grows from it.
In terms of the early concept drawings, Jim Lima did a drawing of the gun that's assembled in the safe in the pilot. And it was not described more than